turning experiences into art.
And see what we do here? We help each other find our own healing.
Welcome. I am Kuyani Denise.
And I am April Diane. And this is
the Q&A Exchange, where we share real stories and
from real people.
Exactly. And ask questions and
get answers. Yes. Last episode, we were talking about procrastination. Yeah, we were talking about procrastination, and we got a little story from Kelly, who was the writer. Shout out to Kelly. Thank you for being so brave and sharing your story with us. Woohoo! We salute you, sis. Yes. And so Kelly was just sharing with us about, being a writer and being really good at writing, and then just not being willing to put herself out there. And we kind of dug in and got into why that may be happening for people just in general, being triggered from past traumas, people saying that they're not good enough. And so, you get, frozen, you get stuck, that fight or flight, you take flight and you just don't want to do it because you don't want someone to look at you and expose you and tell you that you're not good enough. You're just tired of hearing that. And so we got into that a little bit. We got into talking a little bit about the ego and how, when you put yourself out there and someone gives you feedback, it sometimes can feel like a personal attack, and we talked about the difference between criticism and feedback, and just, how you have to reframe the idea.
Perspective. Mm-hmm.
The perspective. Are they criticizing me or are they trying to help me grow? I think that's the question that we have to ask ourselves, because if you were in an environment in the past where someone was constantly criticizing you, when someone actually genuinely offers you feedback, it can seem the same. It can disguise itself as being criticized. And it's like, oh, this is happening again. So then, your ego comes up and it's like, wait, hold up. So, yeah. So we want to go ahead and bring in a special guest on the show today, Yahila. And Yahila is an amazing wellness coach. She teaches yoga. She's out in Long Island, Queens, and she's just an amazing being, an amazing spirit. And she, as you'll see, that we're going to be doing that. We're going to be bringing in people just randomly to see their perspective on what we're talking about. And she's our first call. So we're going to go ahead. I have Yahila on the line. Welcome, Yahila.
Hi, April. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the great introduction.
You're welcome. We're so happy to have you on today. And so you heard a little bit that we were talking about. We're talking about procrastination, perfectionism, the fear of success, and then worthiness, how that is all tied in together. What's your experience with procrastination? Are you a procrastinator, Yahila?
Well, I feel like at times I can be a procrastinator. And where does that come from? I guess it's just those little voices in your head that tells you that you can't do it because it might take, certain things take time, right? If you want to get from point A to point B, sometimes it takes time. It takes you putting yourself into that project, and sometimes you can get distracted, or the little voices, or it's going to take too long, or it can just be anything, any disbeliefs that you have in your mind that just keeps you from completing a task or a goal.
Yeah. You mentioned that, the voices in the head, the self-talk, the self-doubt, how that plays a role. Yeah.
Yeah, like even with starting a business or expanding your business. Like, okay, for me, for example, I'm I want to have a storefront or a home where I can say, hey, this is where I am, come here. But the steps are there. I know the steps to do and to follow them. At least I can go and I get advice, but still something is still holding me from doing it, I guess. Maybe it's the fear or the thought of the lack of funds. Like, oh, do you really think you can do it? Is it practical for you to do this right now in this time and age, especially COVID? So these are the voices that will be in my head.
So I have a question. So it sounds like the fear of failure. And I wonder, what are you basing this on? Things that you've seen? I guess examples of other people. Are you looking at someone else? I guess basically when you're considering whether or not you're going to go into something, or when you're procrastinating, is there someone else besides your own voices in your head? Is there someone else that comes to mind that makes it harder for you to move forward?
That's a good question.
Frank, I'm not gonna say I don't look at other people, but I do look at other people and see where they are and that they're progressing in the areas that they're progressing. And then sometimes I feel like, can I progress like this other person? Can I do it? I wouldn't say that somebody's holding me back because I'm a single person. There's no one physically holding me back. But like I said, myself and just really pushing myself to go out there and do it instead of it's like I feel like it's a little fearful of something, but don't know what exactly. Maybe it's a fear of just taking the steps on my own and doing it on my own, and maybe wanting a partner. That's all I'm thinking. Maybe it's a fear of taking the steps by myself, which I know I can do it.
So are you overwhelmed by the steps? Do you feel overwhelmed by the steps?
Yeah, I can feel overwhelmed by the steps. Because it's, if I'm looking, I think it's also maybe I shouldn't look at the steps and just do this. Maybe I shouldn't look at the steps. Maybe I should just take the steps one by one. So instead of looking at the overall picture, oh, I have to do this, and then I have to do that, and I have to do this, maybe just taking, I think that's where something that I'm not struggling with, but those would be my thoughts. Oh, looking at everything that has to be done, and it has to be done just by me, instead of just saying, okay, just take step by step by step. Start with one thing, and then branch off of that. Write out the list of everything that has to be done to get to this, whether you want to open a storefront or whether you want to plan retreats all over the world type of thing, So, yeah.
Wow. You brought up a really good point too, the being alone, having to do something alone, not having that support. And that is important. Having support is important. It really, and it's sometimes difficult to obtain. So have you tried to get the support and how has that been, if you have?
And then that's the thing too. If you're going to ask for support, you want to make sure that you're asking the people that will support you and people that won't look at you like, what is she talking about? Can you get a store? Are you sure? Is it practical? Can you do this? How is it going to work? And yoga schools are closing down. Are you sure you want to do that?
People bringing in their doubts and yeah.
Right. And it's just finding, even I haven't thought about reaching out to anyone, but then that's already a thought of,
They're gonna shoot down your ideas.
Shoot down. Yeah. You bring up another point too. The focusing on what you can't do. right? So there may be, when you're outlining all the steps that you have to take, right? Sometimes we can be so focused on the parts that we can't, that are the problems. Do you feel like that is the case with you?
I would say, yeah, I would say that. Oh, I don't have the money right now in my pocket, but there's obviously ways to get money to open and start up a business. Or what else is I thought? Not having the help, fear of the outcome, and it's all this fear, and whatever negative thought is just the negative thought.
Yeah. What do you think about the statement "fail better"? Because I hear that, and it's been said. And at first, I didn't get that "fail better," but I you don't like it, Kuyani?
I don't get it.
You don't get it. Okay.
Fail
better. I haven't heard that, but I'm thinking that it's better to try something and they fail, but then it's better to not have tried, fail and not to have tried it. I guess fail better. That's what I'm thinking.
It sounds, yes, to me like that, like
something like that.
Yeah, if you you try and it doesn't work. You
tried.
See what it was that didn't work out, and then you try again in a different way, and then if that doesn't work, then you just keep trying until
until it gets better. Fail till it gets better.
Yeah, fail till it gets better. Yeah. Because
I like that.
Yeah. So because you're not gonna be 100% successful with anything that you do. There's going to be things that you can improve upon. That's just the truth of things. Yeah. So if you just, you take the mistakes that you made, the feedback, and then the next time you apply it to the next time.
Right.
Yeah, fail exactly. Better. I've heard the statement. First couple of times I heard it, I was just like, I just really didn't get that. But the bottom line is, when you're trying something for the first time, you're learning, and there is a learning curve. And so we could go from, either overdoing it, right, or not doing at all, because we're so scared of failure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do we find the middle ground between, like, get out of the way of procrastination and just get yourself in there, taking those steps? What would be some suggestions that you would give to someone else who is in your circumstance? Because you have taken steps, right? You've taken steps within your business. You've overcome some of the obstacles that presented themselves in your current business, right? What were some of the obstacles that you overcame?
Well, as a yoga instructor, to really go out there and find the work. Even to work our work is it's not a 9 to 5. So we really have to go out there and make our own 9 to 5. We'll see whether you're going to teach a couple classes in the gym. Classes are usually daytime and in the evening. So you have to, so I found that was like an opener for me coming into this field. This is not like I said, 9 to 5 job, and just taking the steps and going out there, going to different companies, going to the library, say, hey, you need a yoga instructor for your program. Would you like a wellness program for your staff? And that's the start of it, of really just coming out the box and going out there and doing the work, getting the work. And this is pretty much the start of it. Writing down places that I can go to offer my services, offer wellness, and doing that. So then I am the business, so I have to go out there and make it happen.
And have you been successful with, because I think, we have to define what success is also when we are taking these steps, because if we don't have a definition of success, how can we celebrate that, when we've
That looks like
reached, like, right, what does success look like to you? So have you had, and there are different degrees of success. So have you been successful with going out there, looking at your list of places um, to propose, the implementation of a wellness program or a yoga class? Have you been successful with that?
I would say, yeah, I have been successful with it, and we continue to be successful with it.
And how does that feel? How does that feel to be this?
It feels,
yeah.
It feels great. It really does. It really does. Whether or not sometimes I don't even think about it, but hey, I'm really doing it, I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it feels really good. And these are the things that we have to always also make time to acknowledge that we're doing it. Whatever it is that you're doing in your day, you're doing it. If that's your passion, if that's your road, that's the path that you want to be on. Just know that recognize what you're doing and how many people you've touched along your days. And I've touched a lot of people in this wellness world. So, and not just in wellness, whatever I've done, whatever my business was, I'm passionate. I've always been passionate about it. And the people I work with, those, that they're happy. I know I did my job.
Awesome. I love that. So you bring up an important point, right? Because we've been talking a lot about the obstacles that we face when we are embarking on a new adventure, right? When we want to get something accomplished. We've talked about the obstacles, but how do we overcome those obstacles? That's the question. How do you, to our community out there, how do you overcome the obstacle of procrastination, the obstacle of perfectionism, the obstacle of fear of failure, the fear of success, the obstacle of feeling unworthy? How do you overcome that? And I feel like, Yahila, you have just touched on something that's really important. Don't you think? The celebration part of it, celebrating the small steps that, take you to where you're going.
Yeah.
I find that's difficult. Like, a lot of people have difficulty celebrating themselves.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of, well, I did this part, but I still haven't done this. And it's like, no.
Right.
I've done this part. That's it. It ends right there. Jump up and down.
Right. Yeah. Yay me. I did that,
I guess it's because, society puts it on us like, oh, you're bragging, you're boasting. But yeah, we're supposed to brag and love on ourselves, right? For all the things that we're doing. We're supposed to love on ourselves and be happy that we're self-gratified, right? And we're not supposed to, it's not a thing that we're supposed to wait for somebody else to applaud us and things like that. We're supposed to be happy with what we're doing. And to show other people, not even to show other people, but we're just supposed to be happy within what we're doing. When people see that we're happy with what I'm doing, then hopefully somebody else will find their hobby, their path that's going to make them happy too.
I think that's so important. Like what you just said about celebrating yourself and how we are trained that if we big ourselves up, that there's something wrong with doing that. Why do we feel like there's something wrong with bigging ourselves up?
These messages are crazy. I don't like to blame any one particular organization, but there's a lot of church in that. And I don't mean just now. I mean, we're talking years of church, before Black people were in church. This was like this. Like, you're supposed to esteem others higher than yourself, which is not the same as putting yourself down or not honoring you and being confident in yourself and who you are. But we have been taught that if we say something good about ourselves, then we're not humble. And I'm like, but I was created on purpose. So I'm technically not mine. So can I talk about me in a good way and be okay? You know what I mean? And if you come from places where people are constantly telling you that, saying negative things about you, somebody got to say something nice. So why
Right.
not? Why not it be you? You know what I mean? If you are looking at yourself and you're acknowledging your value in some way, even if it's a small thing, you should be able to say that out loud and people not look at you like you stink. You know, but listen, everybody's out here trying to get other people to like them. And if you
Yeah.
like yourself, then you're a villain. And I'm not here for that.
Do you feel like that's where the negative self-talk stems from? Is us being conditioned by society not to big ourselves up? Do you feel like that is a big part of why we have so much negative self-talk
I think
sometimes?
so.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like people really will, if you feel, I've been around, people, if you feel too good about yourself, they're looking at you. Now it makes them feel less about
Some type
themselves.
of way.
That's their
Mhm.
problem. That's their problem.
So
Real
what does that say about the people? So what should we do in that circumstance when we have people around us that are not okay with us celebrating ourselves? What should we do?
keep celebrating yourself in front of them. One of two things is
Mm.
gonna happen. They either gonna go away or they're gonna start celebrating their own selves.
Okay, so become the alchemist,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, continue celebrating yourself. And I would also say find something maybe to congratulate them on, or something to make them feel high too. But I don't know what it would be at that moment. Of course, every situation would be different. Maybe that person, I don't know, just find something to say, something positive to reflect back onto them.
Maybe
That's
At
really
the same
good.
time.
ask them, what do you
Because
like about yourself that you'd like to celebrate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what good thing, what have you accomplished in recent? I mean, it could just be getting out of bed. Well, what about you would you celebrate? And hopefully they have something to say, because
right.
I saw a few memes going around on the internet. One of them said, be mindful about the people in your circle. If pay attention to the people who are not celebrating you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that they might be, like some secret hatred because they can they can sabotage.
yeah.
And then I also heard another one. It said that you shouldn't be so focused on showing people your superpowers. Like that's not how you inspire people. You inspire people by helping them to see their superpowers.
I like that.
Mm.
I like that.
So us as coaches, like that's an important part of our work, right? What we do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think that it's equally important though for us to have people around us who are okay with us saying, girl, look at me, I did that, right?
Right.
And it should be a big part of our practice.
Yeah.
Do you think that celebrating ourselves and the small things, the small steps we take, sometimes it is as simple as getting out of the bed? Because because I know, Yahila, what you're talking about, Q, I know you know too, when you are trying to create your own dream, profession or career, you've got to put yourself out there all the time. You're risking being told no all the time. And that is daunting. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just enough to be able to show up. And you may not feel ready, but sometimes it's just enough to show up. And I think another thing is that we have to bring down the expectations, like release I'm just going to show up and see what happens.
Yeah.
Be okay with that. What do you feel about that? Like just not having any expectations. Do you feel like that would help with the procrastination issue? I'll start with you,
just getting
Yahila.
up and
Uh-huh.
sorry.
No, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I think so. Just getting up and doing.
Yeah.
You write out the thing, whatever your goal is. If you know the steps, what are your steps to your goal, you write it out. And then every day you pick a goal and you work on that, whether it takes a week, you work on that until you can get to the next one, or,
That's a good point too, is breaking down the goal, like extending the amount of time. Because sometimes we're what is it? We're over advantageous. We're advantageous, right? Where we're just like, we're trying to put too much on ourselves. When, so something that could probably, I know this for me, something that could take a year to do, I'll be trying to do it in a week.
Yes. Exactly. 500 hour teacher training.
Right. In a week.
A year. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't finish this in a week. Forget it.
Right.
I'm gonna do it.
It's obviously taking too long.
Yes. Yeah, the illusion of time can be such a beast. The illusion of time. Stretch that thing out. Stretch it out.
Oh my, yeah.
World. I feel like that.
Say that again, Q.
I said, talk about creating your world. I feel like that's so important. When you come into it without expectations and break it all down into bite-sized chunks and just do what you can in the moment. It's like Kelly said about just opening a Word document and just type in a character and see where it goes versus, oh my God, what the end, how's this going to come out? I think that is so important. I'm sorry, I was trying to look at what I wrote down.
Okay.
Because I think I said that before, that is the foundation of procrastination, just thinking about too much of what could possibly happen to the degree that you can't do anything. If you just got out of bed, like for me, like this is the third day in a row that I actually put makeup on. I know.
Woohoo! Yes, Queen, and you doing it too. You gotta see her, your healing.
Yes.
Fierce. So
yes, I saw it today. I'm like, look at all this awesomeness.
Okay.
And that made me feel good. I feel like if I get up in the morning and I'm like, for the past few months, I was so tired, and I know it was stress and real talk, it was definitely a depression related type thing, that I was sleeping until 10 minutes to 8, just enough time to brush my teeth, wash my face, and log on to work, because I couldn't find the motivation. But in the past few weeks, I've been getting up early. I wasn't up and doing the makeup thing, but I was getting up there early and I was getting my day started. I was getting my meditation in, and that was another thing. My meditation used to be the affirmations that I wrote were like 500,000 things. I didn't want to read them anymore. I didn't want to do it.
It was too much. It was too much.
I was like, you know what? I took all of them, and for the days where I just ain't got it, and turned them into one sentence. I am spiritually, emotionally, mentally, relationally, sexually, and financially sound. That's it.
Amen.
Everything, because everything I talked about was all of that. But I had this long list, and I would get up and I would go to my book and be like, no, thank you for the breath of life. And I go now. And then I would feel bad, like you're not affirming yourself, you're not speaking into existence the type of life you want to have, because you gave yourself too much to do. Just get the sentence out, and then if you get the sentence out, and if that's all you can do for 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, something else will come of that. So when you're sitting in that alone time, you're already building the life you want, because you've been using this one mantra. Even though you say it one time,
yeah,
one mantra every day for as long, because that's all you could do, and that's progress,
right.
And that will open you up to the rest. And I think that's where we would benefit in trying to encourage ourselves. You just need to take one step.
Oh, I love that. I think you summed it up and for us with that, because what you just basically said is what we talked about, is we can go from not doing at all to overdoing it. And then when we go from one extreme to the next, then it discourages us because it's like, see, I tried and it was just too much. No, you made it too much. You know,
Yes.
you put too
Right.
much on it. Yeah. I love this, ladies. I think that this was so good. Some of the key points that we brought out today was definitely don't compare yourself, right, to other people and what they're doing. Take the steps, just take one step at a time. Focus on what you can do right now, okay? And then celebrate yourself in the midst of it all. Make sure you just, even if it's just a little tap on the back saying good job, and then minimize your expectations. Like don't have so many huge expectations. Just sometimes you will have this great expectation, but sometimes it's just enough to say, I'm going to show up today. And then also we talked about define what your definition of success is for you.
For you.
For
Yes.
you. For
And
you.
let's clarify, no expectations. It's not the same as not expecting good for yourself.
Oh, say that.
No expectations. Don't expect nothing good to happen. No, we're saying don't go beyond, let's just get here.
Yeah,
And
don't have a particular expectation because you could box yourself in with
Right.
that. You know, like just say whatever it. I'm open to whatever needs to happen to take me to the next level.
open.
Yeah, be open and kind of generally specific. I want to thank you, Yahila, for jumping on with us today. We're going to have Yahila on a lot more. She is definitely a part of the Q&A exchange community, and I just love working with her. So I want to thank you, Yahila, for coming on today and sharing your wisdom with us.
Oh, Yahila, I finally
Yes.
able to blend the sea moss into a gel. It's an actual gel now. It's not applesauce.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up because Yahila, tell us about some of the things that you do. I told a little bit, but you do sell sea moss, right?
Yes, I partnered with a company, and I have the CMOS capsules, and I make the CMOS gel fresh from home.
Awesome. So where can we find that? Where can we purchase those things from you?
The CMOS capsules, I actually have. I have a website, but I have to. Oh well, the website is. Actually, if you go to my
Instagram
page,
okay,
you go into the link in my bio,
okay,
and you'll be able to order the CMOS there.
Awesome. What's your Instagram handle?
The number is number 1, Peaceful Yogi.
Okay, number
the
one. The number 1, Peaceful Yogi.
So why you make me go to the link in the bio? See, I say I'm spoiled. See,
you be calling up,
and I'm like, I'm running out of sea moss.
It's okay.
Somebody can I have some sea moss, please?
She says, all good. Look, just get the exchange going. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. I like it when you text me. We get to communicate.
See?
This is true. Because I love seeing your name.
I like the communication. Yes.
I do. So
thank you.
Stay spoiled then.
Awesome. So yes. So can you
Instagram handle and
yes. One Peaceful Yogi. And what are the benefits of sea moss, real quick? Sea moss,
what it does is it pulls toxins out your body, like mucus. That's why it's good for people. A lot of people I have two clients that purchased from me during the pandemic. They were sick with COVID, and they took the sea moss for, I would say, maybe a month or two, and they said that it really helped them. It helped clear their lungs out from the mucus, because they were very congested and very ill. So that's one thing that the sea moss is really good for, pulling the mucus out your body.
Okay.
And it contains 92 minerals that our body needs to be healthy.
Awesome. Thank you, Yahila. Great talking with you. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye, sis.
Bye.
That was so great. So thank you to you guys out there, our Q&A exchange community. This is our second podcast. episode, and we're excited about this. There's some good things are going to happen. You know, just I love questions. Questions are a great way
Sure
to
does.
get the mind. You so silly. Get the mind thinking. It helps to process information. You know, sometimes you got to talk that thing out. You know, you got to write it out. You know, you got to get some other perspectives in there, and that's what we're here. That's what we're doing. All right. So thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Remember, you can submit your stories. Submit your stories. AprilDiane.com, inherwork.com. Peace.